Go.
Hi, Merlyn. This is Alka, and I am from Global Women Power. Global Women Power is a 501c nonprofit working for the financial and social independence of women. Um, in this organization, my whole idea was to give a focus to women where they can enhance their skills.
Uh-huh.
And once they are focused on that, so many problems of life can take care of them by themselves. That's what I thought, because that's how I lived my life, always extending my limits and then pulling myself with bootstraps. So that is the whole idea about this organization.
Very impressive.
And in this, we started in 2015, and I
Okay.
started a series. It's called Meet Our Sheroes.
Okay.
And I have met many impressive women with impressive portfolios, impressive life stories, impressive milestones. And the idea behind this is that this conversation can be a motivational source for many other.
Okay.
Rather than reading a book, and it's better to meet a live person and then just talk candidly about their life.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
So I never come prepared, but I get so intrigued in everybody's story that, I forget my question, like, what should I ask her?
That's normal.
So, Marilyn, over to you. Please tell us what you're doing today. Where did you start your journey from, and where are you going in the next 5 to 10 years? Over to
Wow.
you.
Okay. So my name is Merlyn Pittman. I am an immigrant woman from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. I
Mhm.
came to the US when I was age 18. I turned 19 in the US. Um, so there were a lot of challenges along the way being an immigrant woman. I faced them and conquered them all. It involved cleaning houses and things of that nature. And I had a daughter, a young daughter, and because of her, I was challenged to go back to school, finish college, because I wanted to lead by example. So um, I was a corporate travel agent, and from there I transitioned into law enforcement, becoming a correctional officer with Miami-Dade County, and I did that for several years. And while being an officer, I saw a little of everything, heard a little of everything, and experienced a little
Mm.
of everything with the inmates. And what I found in prison, in the prison system, there were a lot of women of, you know, stature who became inmates, and the prison I worked at was for lifers. They became inmates because they took abuse for so long that the one time that
Mm.
they defended themselves, it became fatal enough to land them in prison for life.
Mm.
And that sort of started me on a journey. When I formed my organization, which is now known as the Chest of Hope, it was not from that perspective. It was from the perspective of helping orphans, because that's another side of the coin, where I had visited Trinidad after many years, and I stumbled upon a home. Let's put it like that. It was not an organization. It's just a home that the legal system sent abused children to, and orphans and things of that nature. It was a four-bedroom home consisting of 65 kids with one bath and bed, one toilet and bath. And I proceeded upon my own to assist that home, which further became the catalyst of Chest of Hope. And then I started getting calls from women here who were going through abuse and needed a safe haven or a shelter to run to. So, coupled with the orphanage concept and remembering the stories of the women I met in prison, I decided that I needed to do something. And that was the birthing of the programs and everything we have in place now.
Mm. You know, you must have heard Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes, of course.
So when he went back to India, so he decided to travel India in a local train
Mm-hmm.
and also, you know, in economy class.
Right.
So as a result, he stopped wearing shoes, slippers,
Mm-hmm.
and started just a robe around him because he said that seeing so much of poverty and misery, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I dare not go in those luxuries of putting on a
Correct.
slipper and clothes, you know.
Right.
I can well understand that when you're telling 65 kids, four-bedroom house, and then you feel, I don't want to know that, you know,
Oh
because it's
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. It's gonna take us maybe a day for that part of the story to be told. But I do have pictures because the
Mm,
cribs the babies laid on were just stilts with cardboard on it. Because the original mattresses or sponge was so laden with pee that they couldn't use it again. So yeah,
extremes.
very much so. Very much so.
So you started it single-handedly, or was there?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. For many years, I um I started in 2004. The organization was formed, and it wasn't until 2010 that I officially had an office and volunteer staff, and it wasn't until 2018 that we not started getting grants, but got a grant. Everything prior to that was voluntarily. Everything prior to that was funded by my now ex-husband. And maybe that's why he's an ex. He became tired of giving me funds. But we held fundraisers and things along the way, and that's how we got some funding as well. But as of October 2018, that's when we got our first grant from the state of California.
Mhm. When we talk about nonprofit or
Hmm.
these kind of organizations, people generally ask, you know, if you want them to join, people generally ask, what is in it for me? Why should I join? You know,
I know.
uh, this is quite a lonely journey. And
Yes.
then the second question they ask, like, how many? Like they want to have big number to get impressed, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm not coming from there. I just want to know from you one or two stories which made your journey fulfilled. You know, like you feel that, okay, I've done it.
Well, I can safely say 98% of the journey has been very successful. Um, I did not venture this alone from the perspective of knowing everything. I started out myself as what is referred to as a shelter mom with this organization in Livermore called Shepherd's Gate. And there was a case manager there. Her name was Caroline Mixon. And when I started this organization, I asked her to come alongside me and show me the ropes from that perspective, the case management. And our very first client was someone who not only went through abuse, but she was a drug addict as well. So Caroline is very instrumental in Chest of Hope's growth. I don't want to say where she lives because she still lives in that area, but she packed her grandkids and came to the home that we had. And, she's a praying woman and she prayed that girl through her addiction for that night until we were able to get her other helped. And we saw the success with that one individual and it just took off. We've had um, another young lady who came. She had two kids, and I can't remember what was her condition, but she could only sit for a while, lay down for a while, and the volunteer staff that we had at the home, they oversaw the kids, made sure they went to school. That was the first time in the young lady's life that she ever had a birthday party and was given a cake. And, so with our programs, it's not just, okay, you come in and you're a client and dot, 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 dot. We do make them feel like they appreciate it. They're somebody. We take interest in their lives, and that's how we approach everything. And it's been success after success. We have another young lady. We had. She's no longer with us. Her name was Kritika Kalish. She would be the one who would be with the woman for Thanksgiving because everyone else had their families and, wanted to be with their families, and Kritika would be with our family, our Chester Hope family, and, sit with them. They would go around the table saying what they were grateful for. And, so we're different. We're different. And I was asked when I first started the shelter, what would I do different? Because the person who asked that question, she says, there's a lot of shelters around. What would you do different? And as time progressed and we move forward, we brought that humane element into our programs so that these women wouldn't think that they're just a room number, or someone that's been given a handout. So we do make them feel special from that regards.
So when you were a correctional officer,
Mm-hmm.
could you make more changes then because you had power to back you up, or could you make more changes when you were running this shelter?
Actually, as a correctional officer, and it's not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the shoulders, I took an interest in the women as well. Oftentimes, when we came through the gates where we were screened, you would hear screaming coming from different parts of the area, and they would be calling me, Miss Pittman, are you coming to our dorm tonight? Because I work 3 to 11, right? And I would oftentimes have to say, shh, you guys making me look bad because I'm not bringing in contraband. Why you want me in your dorm? But I also had a woman who was there for almost 40 years say to me one day, you know, I can sleep when you're on duty at nights. She said every other night I would have to sleep with one eye open and one eye closed, right? So I held them accountable. I had one inmate who won a poetry contest while in prison because when I first encountered her, it did not start off nice. And she broke down weeping and told me her frustrations because it was a new dorm that I had worked in. And I sat her down and I talked to her about life. She was estranged from her family. And eventually, I think like 6 weeks after the fact, she had won the contest because she wrote very well. Her grandmother, who lived in Atlanta, Georgia, wanted to come meet me to see the person who evolved changes with her granddaughter. So I always taken interest. I've had um, inmates come up to me and say hi, and I'm looking at them and, Miss Pittman, don't you remember me? No, I'm the person you prayed for who couldn't see. And, I have stories, right? But like I said, it's not about me, it's about them, and it's the changes that came about. I've taken inmates to the doctors, and they're up there talking about themselves, and they're like, well, if Miss Pittman wasn't here, I'm like, if Miss Pittman wasn't here, what? Sorry, ma'am, and they would humble themselves. So I took interest in them. I would give a listen, I would hear them and that sort of thing.
You should write a book on your experiences.
I've been told, maybe when I retire from this.
Which will never happen.
No, it will, because, I'm getting much older, and it's getting even more hectic. It's very sad that in 2024 that we still have a need for these services, you know what I mean? And it's the children. It's the children that's my concern. So we have women that we have to give anger management programs to, because I guess due to their situation and frustration, they don't know how to speak to the kids. They don't know how to raise their kids. So that's where we step in as part of program to teach them and show them the way, because they would be abusive verbally, and that sort of thing. So I monitor the cameras in most of our homes, and I had to go to one of the homes one day to tell a young lady, when you're taking the baby out, you need it. I mean, it's dead winter. The baby only has on Pampers and a little top. Cover the head, put something on the feet, that sort of thing. They're young, they just don't know, So this is all of these little components add up to create a family type atmosphere. And when they leave, they're grateful. We've gotten lots of cards, and I share with staff because it's not me. I just created the box, right? But it's the staff who is with them and who is patient with them and teaching them along the way.
How many shelters do you have?
We have one homeless shelter, and we have 3 transitional homes. The transitional home, they can stay from anywhere from 9 months to a year. The homeless shelter is up to 35 days. Sometimes we extend it based on their situation and if they haven't procured housing.
All in the Bay Area?
In Central Valley, Tracy, Manteca.
Very nice. Because, we can refer many women, they are in such a condition.
But we take people from all over.
Right.
They come from Sacramento, they come from LA. We've had people come from Oregon. Right now, I think a mom came in with her 2 kids yesterday from out of state. We go as far as Santa Cruz.
How does the word go out?
Well, we connected with the National Domestic Hotline. We also are affiliated with what's called 211. That's another emergency service program here in Stockton. As well as we're on the web. Sometimes the women search and they come across us. We've heard a lot of that. And we also assist victims of human trafficking.
Oh.
So it's not just domestic violence. With the human trafficking, though, most times they're referred by the Family Justice Center or the police department. Because no traffic victim really turns themselves in or is looking for help, but they would reach out to law enforcement, or law enforcement found them, and then they would be referred to us.
I heard there's 88,000 being trafficked in America, and that we're the highest in the world for child trafficking.
Absolutely. It's the truth. And where we are located in Tracy, it's the corridor to Sacramento, to Modesto, and beyond. So we're in the triangle.
It's ironic that we have the Zoom because I met a lady who is abused. She doesn't drink. She's not on drugs. She's pretty straight. Her family abused her. She lost her truck driving license, or the truck, and she's in a temporary shelter. She has to be out in 2 weeks. I would love to connect her to you.
Oh, absolutely.
So how many number of hours you work every day?
Me?
Yeah.
I work realistically from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m.
I
Yeah,
believe you.
yeah,
Always on the phone?
pretty much, or in a meeting or something. Yeah. But it, to do the work that I do and the work that my staff does, you have to have a passion for what you do. You have to be caring, because you can get burnt out easily.
Very
I
nice.
haven't had a vacation since 2019, but I'm having one this year, I promise. It's needed. It's needed.
So what Global Women Power can do for
Mhm,
people, those who are living with you and they have to move from their homelessness, or they have to find jobs,
mhm, mhm.
refer them to us. We can help them find jobs.
Okay, that would be wonderful. That would
Yes.
be amazing.
So, when I was to start this nonprofit work on
Mhm,
purpose, I did not go in DV, domestic violence, because I am very
mhm.
soft-hearted. I cannot listen to the stories.
Right, right.
So on purpose, I said that I can help them find employment or be on
Yeah,
their own.
absolutely. Well, it's like a pie. You put all the ingredients together and we have a perfect product. So
Right,
what you do is not any less than I do. It's just
right,
as important.
right. So always welcome. You can refer them to Nancy or to us, and
Mhm.
most of the time I find something for them.
Perfect. I'm glad for this resource.
Right. Nancy, you have any question? You're mute.
I have to mute it because I have a lot of background noise here. But
Mhm.
do you, I'm curious, the peak of your spiritual journey, was it before you started working as a corrections officer, or was it when you started the domestic violence outsourcing, accommodating?
The peak you said?
Yeah, of your spiritual journey
I
or discovery, like, oh, a light or something.
no, I think I peaked prior to corrections.
The
Yeah.
glow.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always come from a home where I was led to explore my spirituality. So it was not one journey for me. It was not one avenue, right? I took several detours along the way,
Mhm.
and then I decided, this is for me. This is how I'd like to move forward. But I've always, what's the word? Intuitive. I've always been intuitive and listened to spirit. Yeah.
So 10 years or 5 to 10 years from now, what do you see this chest of hope? How do you see it? I'm sure you're going to see it expanding and going state to state.
Mm. Very much so. State to state would be the ultimate goal. However, right now, our immediate goal is to acquire land so we can set up a village of sorts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's our immediate goal. So we're hoping by November, Thanksgiving, we can have acquired that land and hopefully be able to build next year.
Very good.
Then I can rest.
When listening to you, I feel that dreams come true kind of thing, right? You must have dreamt about it.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes.
Did you, it must have been hard to experience people that you've helped, but then they did not want to help themselves and they ended up leaving and then downhill, or was every single person responsive in the positive? You know,
Well,
people,
the
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, basically.
correct. And we've had very few who left for very minuscule reasons. One said, we have a museum, we don't have a home because it was so clean. It's bizarre. And one just felt out of place. She was used to living a certain lifestyle,
Yeah.
and the fact that she had to share a home with other women, she chose to return. So we've really had successes.
Good.
We've really had successes, yeah. Because if you were to see our homes, you would see it's a home and not a shelter.
Wow. I would love to visit.
Yes, yes, I can do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Merlyn, for your, real journey through the dark alleys of life.
Yes.
That's what I will say. And
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
say your website, if people wanted to donate, they can go on your website.
Absolutely. It's www.chestofhope.org. O-R-G.
Okay, great. So, and also remember us, globalwomenpower.org.
Okay.
And
And I will be in touch. Yes. I love
yes,
that resource.
yeah, and we will work on it together.
Absolutely. I want to thank you ladies as well for the wonderful work that you're doing. I strongly believe the feminine divine in us is here to affect change for such a time as this.
Amen. Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
Bye.
You're very